Hey, what's up, you guys? It's me, Princess, back with another spooky video. And today it is Bloody Makeup Monday. Bloody for the victims that were murdered. That is so sad. Makeup for the makeup that I'll be putting on my face. It's gonna look horrible today. I'm hungover. The makeup today is horrible. Please excuse me. And Monday for the day that this is uploaded. So I hope you guys really enjoy. Let's get right into the story. So today's story is about Daisy the Melker. Was born on the 1st of June in 1886, and she was born in the Cape Colony in Seven Fountains. She is the second woman to have been hanged in South Africa. So Daisy was accused of 3 murders, but was only convicted for 1. She was born in Seven Fountains near Grahamstown in South Africa, and she was one of 11 children. When she was 12, she went to Bulawayo, Rhodesia, which is now known as Zimbabwe, to live with her father and 2 of her brothers. 3 years later, she became a boarder at the Good Hope Seminary School in Cape Town. She returned to Rhodesia in 1903, but apparently found rural life unexciting because it was not long before she returned to South Africa and enrolled at the Beret Nursing Home in Durban. On one of her holidays in Rhodesia, she met and fell in love with a young man named Bert Fuller, who was a civil servant in the Natural Affairs Department at Broken Hill. They planned to marry in October 1907. However, Fuller contracted black water fever and died, with Daisy at his bedside on the very day they had planned to marry. So Fuller left a will that was leaving £100 to his fiancée, Suspicious. In March of 1909, about 18 months after the death of Bert Fuller, Daisy married William Alfred Cowler, a plumber in Johannesburg. She was 22 and he was 36. So the couple had 5 children, 4 of whom are dead. Their last and only surviving child, Rhodes Cecil, was born in June 1911. In the early morning of the 11th of January 1923, William became ill soon after taking Epsom salts prepared by his wife. The first doctor who attended him did not consider his condition to be serious, and he prescribed him a bromide mixture. But William's condition deteriorated rapidly. It was just like, wait again, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, gone. Not long after the doctor had left, he took a turn for the worst. His wife summoned the neighbors for help and called another doctor. And during this time, William was in excruciating pain. By the time the second doctor arrived, he foamed at the mouth and was blue in the face. He was screaming in agony if anybody touched him, and this continued until he died. So the second doctor suspected a strychnine poisoning, and he refused to sign the death certificate. A post-mortem was subsequently performed by the acting district surgeon, Dr. Fergus. The cause of death was classified to be chronic nephritis and cerebral hemorrhage. And then Daisy Cowell, the sole beneficiary of her husband's will, inherited. So the second husband's name was Robert Sprout. At the age of 36 and 3 years to the day after the death of her first husband, Daisy married another plumber. So she had a thing for that uniform, So this second husband's name was Robert Sprout. He was 10 years older than her. And in October of 1927, Robert became violently ill. He was in great agony and he suffered severe muscle spasms similar to those experienced by William. But he recovered a few weeks later and then he suffered a second fatal attack. So, after drinking some beer in the company of his wife and stepson, Rhodes is the name of the stepson. He died, Robert died on the 6th of November 1927. That the cause of death was cerebral hemorrhage and arteriosclerosis. Yes, no autopsy was performed following Robert Sproul's death, and Miss Thing, Daisy, inherited £4,000. So on the 21st of January 1931, Daisy Sprout married a third time. Her husband was a widower, and the husband was Sidney Clarence de Melker, who, like her previous two husbands, was a plumber. Another one. Late in February 1932, de Melker had traveled to Jamestown on the East Rand to Terfontaine to obtain arsenic from a chemist. She used her former name, Sprout, and claimed that she required the poison to destroy her sick cat. Less than a week later, on the 2nd of March in 1932, Rhodes fell ill at work after drinking a coffee from a thermos flask which his mother had prepared for him. A fellow worker, James Webster, also became violently sick. Webster, who had drank very little of the coffee, recovered within a few days, but Rhodes died at home at midday on the 5th of March. A post-mortem followed and cause of death was given as cerebral malaria. Rhodes was buried at New Brixton Cemetery. On the 15th of April in 1932, the police obtained a court order permitting them to exhume the bodies of Rhodes Cowell, Robert Sprouse, and William Cowell. A week later, the police arrested de Melker and charged her with the murder of all three men. De Melker's trial lasted 30 days. 60 witnesses were called for the crown, and less than half of this number for the defense. And then Daisy, at the age of 46, was condemned to death by hanging. The sentence was carried out on the morning of the 30th of December in 1932 at Pretoria Central Prison. That is the end of the story. Thank you so much for watching, guys. I hope you guys really enjoyed the story. I know that the look is horrible. It is absolutely ugly. I am so sorry. I was trying something new. It did not work out. But yeah, blue is really not my color. And I hope to see you guys in the next one. Mwah.